Yatraiva yatraiva manomadiyam tatraiva tatraiva tavasvarupam.
There is a question somebody has asked, what is my Svadharma? Svadharma. Are you ready to listen to my answer and absorb it? Where is that question? How can one know whether one is doing his own Svadharma? What is the yardstick to know that we have completely surrendered to the divine and to our Guru? My dear souls, are you prepared to listen to my answer? Can you reflect upon it and make out the meaning yourself? I am concerned about my answer as well as your receptivity to it. There is no point in my talking unless my viewers are able to be with me and understand the message properly. See, you are wanting to know what is your Svadharma. I say stop thinking about it. Prakriti has gripped you with the three gunas. Whatever you speak, whatever you think, everything is done by virtue of the three gunas. As long as you are within their grip, why are you worried about it? So stop thinking about your Svadharma. Think instead about what is goodness, what is love, and what is fellow feeling. Never try to harm anybody. Try to help if possible and be good. Tasmad asaktas sadatam karyam karma samajara asakto hyajaran karma paramapnodi purusha. All these are in Gita. But what for? If you are not able to read and understand them. Tasmad asaktas sadatam karyam karma samajara. The literal meaning of these words in the third chapter is that whatever comes to be done, do it. Whatever comes to be done, where is the Svadharma question here? It has come to be done either for your sake or your family's sake. You are paying tax. Why? Because the government wants you to do. You may not like to pay, but the government extracts it. So every action is self-built. It is self-governed. So tasmat asakta sadatam karyam karma samajara. Whatever is to be done, comes to be done, do it. Asakto hyajaran karma paramapnodi purusha. Whatever activity you perform, if you remain asakta, if you don't have the delusional clinging to what you do, saying that I have done, I will do, I will again do, I will achieve, I will become greater, I am responsible for my family, I look after everybody, everybody should listen to me. All these are products of your perverted intelligence. It is all a beautiful system made by nature. So I don't want you to do anything, says Krishna. Tasmat asakta sadatam karyam karma samajara asatto hyajaran karma paramapnodi purushaha. If you perform without this delusional clinging, you will attain the Supreme. My dear souls, where is Svadharma now? Is there anything called Svadharma? This is the Svadharma. Asaktaha, perform. And if you believe in so many dharmas, Svadharmas, etc., ultimately what did Krishna say? Ultimately what did Krishna say? Are you with me? Are you with me, my dear viewers? Sarvadharman parityajya mam ekam sharanam vraja aham tva sarvapavebhyo mokshayishyami ma shuchaha. Sarvadharman parityajya, abandon forthwith, outright, all considerations about different kinds of dharma. I don't want your mind and the intelligence to bother about any plurality in the matter of do's and don'ts. You will only become tired and you will have headache and stomachache, that's all. Leave everything. Ultimately, there is only one thing, oneness in the whole world. And in the case of oneness, what will you choose? What will you reject? There is nothing here to reject. Like space, earth is there, water is there, air is there, fire is there. But when you go to space, space alone is there. There is no differentiation possible. That is the ground from which all the beings have been born. All the elements have been born. So he says, all the dharmas are ultimately to be abandoned. Svadharma parityajya. How will you abandon it? By holding on to the thought of one. There are two alternates here. Either you hold on to many or you hold on to one. When the mind is infused with oneness and it surrenders the thought of manyness, automatically that itself becomes liberation. Krishna did not come and liberate you at all. This very process is liberation. Another interesting question I have, what is that? This is Ram Shankutavan. The following statement was taken from February 2015 Vicharasethu. Is there really a substance called mind? It is only a cloud of desiring and desirefulness. Choodala clarifies that this process of ceaseless desiring is itself called the mind. In July 2015 Vicharasethu, it said, mind is nothing but consciousness itself. In another issue, it said, mind is a mere delusion. Mr. Ram Shankutavan is pointing his arrow at me. I am very happy, Shankutavan, that you have thought of questioning like this. I am very happy. What is the mind? Thought is a product of the mind. Memory is another product. So many emotions are there, attraction, repulsion, fear, etc. All are products of the mind. What is the mind? Mind itself is a functional node of the self. Now, how to understand the mind? It becomes difficult. It becomes difficult. It may be difficult, but it is easy and natural also. You know what is my situation? I have no difference between mind and thoughts and emotions, thoughts and thinking and the thinker, and the pre-thinker substance. All these are only names. Presence-wise, there is only one. You will also reach that state. Now I give you a definition from Yoga Vasishtha Ramayana. I am very happy this question has been raised. And I am able to give you this answer. I am very happy and delighted. But my delight will have meaning and purpose provided you understand that it helps you to become enlightened. Dvitvaigatva drishau chittam tadeva ajnanam uchyate edayor yo layo drishtyoho tajnanam sa paragati. What is the definition of the mind? Dvitva ekatva drishau chittam. Chittam is that state. That state of what? That state of your understanding or awareness. What is that state characterized as? Dvitva ekatva drishau. You will have the dual vision. What is the dual vision? There is one. No, there are two, many also. So as long as you have the prevalence of many and one, one and many, that prevalence is called chitta, mind. Does it make sense to you? Tadeva ajnana muchyade. That duration, that prevalence is called ignorance or delusion. Etayor yo layo drishtyoho. When these two visions, points of view, they attain dissolution, they become one, they disappear. Tat jnanam, that is the supreme knowledge. Sa paragatihi, that is the supreme exalted state. Are you able to grasp what I say? As long as you have the debate and discussion, the doubt and misunderstanding, the inability to leave one and go to another, See, whether my mind thinks about oneness or the mind thinks about manyness, are you with me? When my mind thinks about oneness or it thinks about manyness, what difference does it make? In both cases, is the same mind. It is mind's deliberation. Whether I walk towards east, towards west, towards south, or towards north, does it make any change in the pair of legs I have? Huh? Huh? So can I not walk eastward, westward, northward, southward? The legs will be the same. So the mind can think of oneness. It can also think of manyness. Whether it thinks this way or that way, what difference does it make? It doesn't make any differentiation to the mind. And all my thoughts, do they remain within me? No, they vanish. So what is it that you are worried about? So can you reach such a state where you understand all thoughts are, deliberations are booth. There's nothing. Where are the deliberations? Where are the results? In all the deliberations, you only have the consciousness in the form of the mind present, nothing else. Whether you say oneness, whether you say manyness, the mind is the same. The consciousness is the same. When you understand in this manner, and the many thoughts and the one thought, they become equal, no difference is there, you reach the state of wisdom. Coming back to my point, Prakriti is supreme, supreme, supreme. We are under the grip of Prakriti. If you are good, Satiguna is dominant in you. If you want to be better, develop Satiguna qualities. Satiguna's qualities, Sattvic qualities are enumerated in our Shastras. Think about them, reflect upon them, practice them, try them one after the other. As I told you, a man went on saying commitment, 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 and he developed commitment as a quality in you. Whatever the mind thinks, that the mind becomes. Ya madihi sa gadir bhaved. Whatever you meditate upon, that you really become. So practice Sattva-guna, develop Sattvic qualities, read the Shastras, and the best that you can do is read and reflect upon this wonderful Bhagavad Gita. Read and reflect upon. Everybody was looking for a message on my birthday. This time the message I said, read Bhagavad Gita, learn it at least 3 or 4 verses every day. Live with peace and health. This was the message I gave. Here is one question. I am going to answer it. I am going to answer it. But whom I am answering to is the important question. What grapples me most in the spectacular thought process is, why would Brahman even care to create such a complex cycle of existence to begin with? With what motive did Brahman initiate such a scheme, and to serve what purpose? How did Brahman itself come into existence in the first place? And why did the electron start revolving around the nucleus of the very first atom if it was manifested by the Brahman? Where did all the energy in the universe come from? I am asking you, is it a science question or a philosophy question? If it's a question on science, I think you should go to the scientists and ask them to explain. They will never be able to explain. Throughout their life, they cannot explain this. Now, if it is a philosophical question, this question doesn't arise at all. Can you imagine anything in this world without its quality and nature? And is there anything called vacuum and nothing? I cannot get an answer and look at your faces also. Is there anything called vacuum? No. So there must be something present somewhere. That something is Brahman. And when Brahman is, it has its quality and nature. You cannot conceive of anything in this world without its quality and its nature. If vacuum is impossible, something should be present. What is ultimately present is Brahman. It was present to begin with and it will be present to end with. And it will have its own quality. Why are you questioning its quality? Suppose it changes its quality and becomes another, then some others will say, why is it like this? So it has to be something like, so it is what it is. Then, if you question further and further as to why the world is like this, which world? Which world? I am not able to find a world to analyze before me. Our mind is the seat of all experiences, all knowledge, all memory, all finding. The mind is inner. The mind is inner. All of you will agree. It is subtle, that is why it is present inside the gross body. So inside the gross body, the mind is present. What does the mind do? It activates the senses and activates the senses. The senses interact with the objects and all the objects are imprinted by the mind. My dear souls, are you following me? Are you coming with me? Mind is the seat of all experiences. Your questions also arise from your own mind or intelligence. Mind's elder brother is intelligence. Don't think that they are two different entities. They are of the same stock. So the mind employs the senses and the senses interact with the objects. This interaction is actually an experience of the mind. This interaction is an experience of the mind. So the interactions and their outcomes, they have only an inner experiential status. I wish you were nearer me. It is the mind that senses the body. It is the mind that employs the senses. And the interactions take place. Who feels the interactions? Not the senses, but the mind. So the mind takes imprints of the objects. These imprints of the objects alone, you experience. My dear viewers, are you with me? Is there any time in your life, whether you have interacted with an object, our senses interact with the object. That the senses interact is again an experience of the mind. So the interactional experience is inside the body in the level of the mind. The mind is subtle, S-U-B-T-L-E. It is inside the body. So the mind is taking an imprint of the objects. So the imprint of the object, is it gross? No. Is it external? No. Is it not subtle? Yes. So you see an elephant, huge elephant. You call it a huge elephant, black in color with two tusks. It's a tusker. Where have you seen the elephant? In your own mind. And such a huge elephant can you see within your body, in your mind? Suppose such a huge elephant is there, will not the body break into pieces? But you are seeing the elephant. You can understand it in full measure. But this understanding is produced by the mind. Because mind is subtle, the imprints also are subtle. So apart from the mind and the subtle imprints, do you ever come across anything like a gross world and objects in your life at all? Is a question that I am asking your enlightened intelligence. Answer me with enlightenment. Is there any point of time in your life when you experience a gross object? You only experience the subtle imprint made by the mind in itself of the object. How can the subtle imprint be a gross object? Can the subtle mind produce anything gross? No. So where is the grossness of the universe? All your questions therefore fall to the ground. There is no grossness at all, so far as our mind and experience are concerned. No grossness. There is nothing like an atom. An atomic scientist was telling me, Swamiji, we are taught and we are speaking about the atom, but none of us has seen an atom, he said. None of us has seen an atom. It's all, according to their language, some models and something, representation. Swamiji, is it possible for us to think that all these objects are illusory? Yes. 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 We have 3 levels of experience: waking experience, dream experience, and sleep experience. The 3 together exist. They together make a whole. You cannot bifurcate them, compartmentalize them. We are waking up from sleep, and from sleep we are going back into the sleep. So the sleep is the source of waking. Sleep is the source of wakefulness. Now all the 3. In the wakefulness alone you have an extensive world, gross world. In sleep, all of it completely disappears and you, the sleeper, alone survives. You are not conscious of your body, not to speak of the world. You are not conscious of your mind, your intelligence, your ego, nothing. Still you snoringly sleep. What are you then? What is that I in you then? Then from the sleep, you slip into dream. In the dream, you create a world. You create a body. If the creation of the world requires God, then you create the God first. And through him, you ask him to create the dream world for you. In the dream, you travel. You become hungry. You go to a hotel and eat your dream food. And it appeases your dream hunger. In the same manner as waking hunger is appeased by waking food. All the dream, maybe it lasts, the dream duration may be a year or 6 months. And suddenly you wake up. Tell me where all the objects went? Where are all the objects now? Where are they? Like dream objects, totally disappearing, never giving any scope for us to examine, evaluate, assess matters. In the same manner, my dear souls, the waking objects also, when you understand that all of them are mental imprints, lose their very validity, existence. So Brahman alone, if at all, was, is and will be. Everything else is a dream superimposition on itself. Even that Brahman and the process, cyclic process that goes on, that also is non-existent. Understand it. This is not mysticism. This is not magic. This is human rational thinking and introspection. Rational thinking and introspection. You let me know whether there is any gross object that you have ever seen or felt. Some people were saying, Swamiji, you have this spectacle cover. Are you not able to touch and feel? So is it not there? Arey, touching and feeling, that is only a sensation like seeing. In what way is it different? All the 5 sensations are equal and alike. So simply because you are able to touch and feel through the nose, etc., it doesn't give a better validity to the objects at all. Everything is in the mind level as experience, as knowledge, as memory. In that mind level, no gross object can ever be. But you only have mental experiences of gross objects, which clearly drive you to think that no object is ever felt or experienced by you. Subtle is an idea of the mind. Gross is another idea of the mind. Inside is an idea, a postulate, a pratyaya as we call it. Outside is another. It's all mind-based. And the mind itself, you tell me, I am speaking to you so much. So many words have come out of my mouth. Tell me, are they stocked anywhere in the brain or here? I talked completely extempore. Some Sanskrit verses I was referring to refresh myself. All these things, where are they stocked? Where? So judge everything in terms of your mind and experience and you will understand. So I conclude the session in this manner. Prakriti is absolute. Allow matters to be left over to Satiguna, Rajoguna and Tamoguna. Be good, be simple, be nice to people. I need not say you should be honest and truthful. It would be shameful for me to say that. Try to reduce your selfishness. Be liberal, be liberal, be liberal. How many people know that to give means to have more? I always say when people are giving, Providence will strengthen your hands of giving because very few people are given to giving. So when you give, only when you have you will give. So start giving, you will have more. Otherwise you will have to stop giving. Even God will be happy when He sees somebody give. So to give is a great fortune. People don't understand. So be good, be nice, have feelings for fellow beings. Get connected to the Supreme. As you are all seated on the floor, on the earth is connected to the Supreme. So if your earth on which you live and move is connected to the Supreme, are you not actually connected to the Supreme? So stand like a towering personality to say, I am the infinite, I am the Supreme, I am connected to the Supreme. The son of a rich man is rich. I am the son of an infinite source. Therefore, I am also infinite. Can you say this and shake the world, my dear souls? Philosophy is not for the meek. It is not for the timid. It is not for the retreating souls. It is for the heroic, for the valorous, for the adventurous, and the conquering people. It makes you invincible. Bodily you are mortal, but inwardly you are immortal. Bodily you are perishable, but spiritually you are imperishable, invincible, unassailable, unassailable. The whole world is an object for you. You are its subject. Even if God comes and stands in front of you, He will be an object for me. And He will have to ask me, Swamiji, open your eyes and see me at least. Then I will have to open my eyes to make Him see. He will remain there outside. Even if I were to see God inside, He will be a subtle object before my mind. Understand, our philosophy is something very great. You can have all of this, at least glimpses of it in Bhagavad Gita. That is why I say, read Bhagavad Gita at least 3 or 4 verses every day. I don't know what you have felt by my talking to you this, but I feel very happy. You know, when subtle truths are presented in a very nice manner, always the speaker is delighted. So I am quite delighted. Yogarato va, bhogarato va, sangarato va, sangavihina, yasya brahmani ramate chittam, nandati nandati, nandatyeva bhaja govindam, bhaja govindam, bhaja govindam, mutamate. I used to sing this in my young days. My birthplace, Parlikat, is not very far away from Kaladi, the birthplace of Shankaracharya. So we had Shankara almost as a friend of ours. So we used to recite and read and delight over his compositions. And one is the popular Moha Mudgara or Bhaja Govinda. It says, whether you pursue yoga or you pursue sensory delight, whether you are in association with others or not in association, yasya brahmani ramate chittam, whose mind whose mind dwells in Brahman and excels in Brahman, Nandadi Nandadi Nandatyeva, he always delights, revels and excels. This is such a wonderful science. Wonderful science. It involves the mind and the intelligence alone. One more point I wanted to say. So many questions have been given. Whenever I get questions from sincere people, I feel like answering. Obviously, this could not have been answered in the 2-day session. So I would like to answer them either orally or in a written manner. After the global convention, so many questions were received. All of them I replied, but took some months, audio replies. Similarly, I can give you oral reply, audio, or written. Written will take time. Audio replies can be faster. But still don't expect it in 1 week or 10 days. But I would like to know whether you want it or not. So you should communicate to me saying that I would like to get an audio reply. Then I shall speak and give you the reply. I want to fulfill this requirement. Let me stop now. Samvedyavarjitamanuttamameghamadyam samvitpadam vigalanam kalayan mahatman hridyevatishta kalanarihida kriyam tu kurvan agartrapadamethya samodidashri kurvan agartrapadamethya samodidashri. Hari, Hari, Hari. We shall have the conclusional recitation. All of you do it very vigorously and with full involvement and wholesomeness. Let the whole world be better, especially it is under the grip of a widespread corona attack. Let our own inward power give us sufficient immunity so that we can get some kind of a salvation from this widespread attack. Hari Om. Jai Guru, Jai Guru, Jai Guru.